Hello you guys, my name is Valerie Salcedo and I am a classical singer. I've been performing for about 10 years now, maybe 10 plus years. It's been a while since I graduated from college, which is where I learned to really develop my singing and my sound as a performer. I'm kind of bi-coastal. I partially live in New York and partially here in California. And I hope you guys are staying safe during this time, and wanted to share some tips and tricks with you guys on singing for acting. You know, I've done a lot of musical theater and productions, sung with a couple philharmonics and done theatrical works. And as a performer, I also do some directing, producing of shows, working with different composers. And I just wanted to share some tips with you guys as performers who maybe are interested in doing some singing in the future or will be doing some singing very soon. So this is something that we don't really think about. Now here's a couple of tips and tricks on things that I really truly live by, and it literally trial and error with this. But I have here lipstick. I know ladies and even guys who do musical productions, because we all have theater makeup, when we put on lipstick, now I've actually, you know, thought like thoroughly about this. Depending on the, you know, you have to understand, lipstick goes on your lips. When you drink water or any kind of beverage, you kind of swallow some of it. You know, it's on your mouth, it's on your lips. If you have a lipstick that comes off on a cup, if you're drinking from a straw or a cup, and it comes off a little bit, technically it's gonna be coming off a little bit inside your mouth too. And so you wanna make sure that you're very careful with the type of lipstick you wear for stage production. And I know this is something we don't really think about because, you know, you just put on, you're like, okay, now I need to drink my water to get ready for the stage. But I've honestly felt a difference with the different types of lipsticks that I wore. So I particularly like lipsticks. This is one from Jeffree Star. I like it because when I put it on and I drink from a cup, it doesn't come off. And it doesn't have to be this brand. It can be any brand. But particularly just be aware of, you know, the things that actually are around your mouth that you're using, whether it's makeup or hairspray. The things that you're inhaling, just be a little bit more cautious about that. And that's something that I've noticed that I needed to do. Over the years, I've learned to just be a little bit more aware about those things. Another tip that is so cliche, but drink your water. Okay, now, I know this is so cliche, and some of you might already do this before you do stage productions, but you have to realize that your body naturally needs water. So drinking water 5 to 10 minutes before a show, yes, that will be helpful to you, but imagine how much more helpful it would be to your body if you drank it 3 hours before and you were really just getting your body ready and moisturized. Your vocal folds and your vocal cords, we don't realize it, but they retain water. And so you want to make sure those are very moisturized so that you can produce sound better. I mean, those of you know, if you're doing a sport, you need water to kind of refill your body. That's because your body needs, your joints need the moisture. And so it's the same with your voice. I mean, I always tell people, singers are like athletes as well. We have to take care of our bodies, and we have to really train everything we do, the things we inhale, the things we drink. You know, how much are we talking throughout the day, and how are we talking throughout the day, to, you know, how we're producing the sound. So yeah, water is so important, and instead of drinking it before the show, I would say start the second you wake up, even if you have a show that evening. Now, I told you guys that I'm a director and producer, and I do a lot of other things besides performing. That is something that I also have to be careful with, because if I'm directing a show and or directing anything or speaking to a crowd of people and having to perform that evening, I tend to bring a microphone and a speaker with me, like a small speaker, or just make sure that the venue has one, or just be very careful with the production of your sound and your voice. You don't want to push your voice so much. It's, again, like any muscle in your body. And you want to just be careful on how you produce sound. Vocal rest is definitely a thing, and I know it's hard to do, hard to refrain from talking to your family and loved ones, but it's definitely something to be aware of. Now, I did say that that you guys need to be careful with things that you inhale. Those of you who have allergies, or those of you who have asthma, you have to understand that when you cough, your vocal cords, I always tell people, I feel like a vocal genius in a sense, where I know the anatomy almost better than a doctor, because I have to use my voice every single day, and for work, you know, for singing. And so I'm very cautious of everything that kind of messes around with my sound. So when it comes to spraying hairspray, I'm just being very careful with not inhaling so much of it, or spraying. I'll just spray it outside and then come back inside, so I'm not constantly breathing it in. I wouldn't say there's any specific hairspray that I use, because they all have some kind of chemical or some kind of thing that might affect your voice in some way. And so I'm just very careful with what I inhale. Same thing with perfumes. Just be careful that when you spray a perfume, that you're not inhaling so much of it. You don't really know. Often we don't know what's inside of it. That might affect our lungs or immune systems. And we learn, if you have allergies, you will learn the scents and the aromas and herbs that will not work when you inhale the different perfumes. And so just be very aware of that as well. Now, if you've only been acting and you want to start doing musicals and want to start, it's kind of more like singing for actors type of thing. You want to start getting into more singing type of roles. I honestly didn't have any voice lessons until I was in college. And it was difficult prior to that, because I wasn't sure how to approach sound or my voice. I would just sing based on what I hear. And so one thing that I always tell singers, especially if they've never sung in a musical before, is if you want to improve yourself in your voice, just play a note. You want to just kind of match pitch. Just simple things like that. You can play around with the piano and do things like that that would help you be better performers.